Dear students, today we are going to learn a subject of business planning and entrepreneur management. This is one of the important subjects that we have which tells us how business planning takes place and how an entrepreneur has to be developed. It is one of the very important chapters that we have. We are going to go ahead and look into various concepts of it, and we'll go ahead and study this particular subject in detail. So this subject is basically consisting of four units. First is the foundation of entrepreneurship development. Next is the types and classification of entrepreneur. Then we have entrepreneur project development and business plan. And the last one is venture development. Each of these is very interesting. Each of things that we are going to study is really very interesting. So one by one, we are going to go ahead and check out different things. So let us go ahead and begin with chapter number 1. My name is Vikram Desai and I'll be conducting further sessions. So first we are going to go ahead and see what is business planning and entrepreneur management. So let us go ahead and start with the first concept of entrepreneurship. What exactly do you mean by the entrepreneurship? Let us go through the definition of entrepreneurship development. Now, when we talk about entrepreneur is a small business that an individual goes ahead and does. So, as per the Webster's dictionary, the entrepreneurship development is nothing but a person who organizes and manages a business undertaking, assuming the risk for the sake of the profit. Now, whenever a person does a business, everyone goes ahead and works with the main aim of earning profits. So each and every individual who does a business, they would like to go out and earn profit. That is the main aim of the business. But when we talk about business, business is also a great risk. Whenever we go ahead and do any sort of business, we have to go ahead and take risk. When we take risk, higher the risk, higher is the profit. That is the main concept of entrepreneur. So we are going to see what is the need of entrepreneurship development. Why do we need to go out and develop an entrepreneur? There are various categories into it. First and the foremost important thing is when we go out and speak about entrepreneurship development, it generates and accelerates the piece of economic and social development. It generates employment. So we are going to see each part in detail. The first thing that we would like to see is establishing business units. Now, entrepreneurship development programs are undertaken to encourage individuals to set up business units so as to generate employment. The main aim is to go out and establish a unit, and how we will go out and establish a particular uh, organization, as well as how we will go out and generate employment. When a small business is set up, at that particular moment, we require different kinds of people to go out and work with us. And that is the importance of entrepreneur development. One single person cannot go out and handle each and everything. They require different people. So to manage that business, we go ahead and need different people. That helps us to go out and generate employment. So there are small business units that are there. There are various different units that are established. There are various organizations who helps us to go out and establish the business units. Government of India also goes ahead and undertakes the task on regular basis, and they help us to go out and establishing small business units. So that is a great thing that our government does for us. Next point that we are going to see is employment. As I told you earlier, entrepreneurship facilitates employment generation. When I or any small organization goes ahead and starts a business, they require different people to go out and employ themselves. So that is how they go out and generate employment. The direct employment in the business units is managed by the entrepreneurs, whereas there is an indirect employment that is generated by the people by supporting the units, like going ahead and giving inputs to the business, going ahead and getting different materials required for the business. That is indirect employment. Whereas direct employment is when we ourselves involve in that particular business, when we try to go ahead and grow the business. That is direct employment. Next is economic development. As business units are established, as business units are formed, that is definitely going to go out and help the government. How? When business units are established, employment will be generated, money will be generated. When money is generated, every individual and every business unit earns profit. When profit is generated, we go ahead and pay taxes, and when we go ahead and pay tax to the government, it helps us for the economic development of the country. So more business units are established, more number of employment will be generated, and profit will be earned more. When profit is earned more at that particular moment, taxes are paid, and that helps for the development of the country. In developed countries like Japan, USA, Germany, they owe economic development to the contribution of the entrepreneurs. They help entrepreneurs to establish their business because they want their country to develop economically. Next thing that we are going to see is self-reliance. India faces problem of trade deficit every year. It faces a problem of trade deficit. Now, to overcome this problem, we should go ahead and try to establish entrepreneur development or entrepreneur business so that we become self-reliant. When we become self-reliant, at that time we don't have to import more. Whether we should try to export more. When we try to export more and when we try to import less, a lot of money will be generated, and because of that we can become self-reliant. We don't have to actually go ahead and depend on anyone. That is very important for us to go ahead and get ourselves to move towards the developed country. As of now we are still developing country, but we should try to go ahead and become a developed country. Next comes social development. Entrepreneurs plays a very important role in social development of a nation. Now, professional wise, when we become successful, there are a lot of people who recognize us, they respond us, they go out and help us to form the society, they invite us in different societies, and that is how our contacts increase. That is how we come to know about the people, and that helps to go ahead and become social. So social development is also important. As we all are aware about the social networking sites, nowadays people are using social networking sites to a greater extent. Like we have Facebook, we have WhatsApp, we have Instagram, wherein we come to know about different people. Same ways, entrepreneur also helps us to go ahead and establish social development, and they help us to go ahead and establish or form an activities into health. It might be related to education, it might be related to community development, and lot many things. Standard of living, again this is one of the important thing that we have in entrepreneur development. Entrepreneurs generate employment. When employment is generated, at that time automatically my standard of living increases. Now it is a big question how my standard of living is increased. When an employment is generated, at that time we start working. When we start working, we get regular income that is formed in our house. When our income increases, at that time automatically my standard of living also starts increasing. Just we will go ahead and take a small example. Suppose if a person earns 10,000 a month, nowadays in this situation or in this current pandemic, 10,000 also is a big deal. But if you go ahead and see, otherwise 10,000 nowadays is not sufficient for many families to go ahead and uh, to go ahead and say to earn the daily basis. But still people earn 10,000, and there are small families who are very well developed with it. They cope up with it. Now, when a person earning 10,000 starts earning 15,000, or they start earning 20,000 because of the good employment that is generated, at that time automatically we tend to go out and purchase more things. When we purchase more things, our standard of living automatically increases. That is how standard of living is related to entrepreneurship development. There is regional development that also goes ahead and takes place. When we go ahead and have an entrepreneur development, we try to go ahead and develop region wise also. Many of the people nowadays have started establishing their business in rural areas. Why in rural areas? Because they are going ahead and establishing there, because our government is going ahead and giving different facilities, or they are giving benefits if we establish things in rural areas. So we go ahead and start business in rural areas. That will help to generate employment in rural areas, as well as it will help to increase the standard of living. Next comes is revenue to the government. When we go ahead and generate employment, when entrepreneur development grows, automatically the revenue is given to the government. We go ahead and pay taxes. It might be direct taxes or it might be indirect taxes that we go ahead and pay. There are various corporate taxes that are paid by the entrepreneurs. There are various service taxes, there are custom duties. So there are a lot of different things that we go ahead and generate when we go ahead and generate employment and we start doing business. So revenue plays a very important role. When we give this revenue to the government, it is only and only for our benefits that we go ahead and develop such things. I hope these points are clear with you. If you have any points, you can go ahead and get it cleared or get it clarified from me anytime. Let us move towards the next concept. The next concept that we are going to learn today is characteristics and qualities of entrepreneur. Now, what should be the characteristics and what should be the qualities? Let us go ahead and see. The first and the foremost quality or the characteristic is innovator. In 1934, Mr. Joseph, the well-known expert on entrepreneurship, has viewed entrepreneur as an innovator. That means innovator is a one who goes ahead and invents new things. Now, when we have business already established, we should see to it that we develop new things, we invent new things. Invention is required for going ahead and developing the business. If I want to go out and introduce a new product in the market, I have to study about that. I have to check out which particular product will be more beneficial. And if I go ahead and invent new product, how it will go ahead and help me to go ahead and grow my business. There is an entry of new market. If I want to go ahead and take an entry into the new market, I have to study about that market conditions first. I have to study that market. So innovation is very important, but without innovation, I cannot go ahead and move ahead. Then comes decision making skills. There are different skills, there are different decision making skills that we go ahead and do. When I go ahead and try to invent new product, at that particular moment, I have to go ahead and make certain decisions. Now, being an entrepreneur, I have to go ahead and take certain decisions quickly at that particular moment because I don't have to rely on anyone. It is whole and soul my decision that I have to work on. So decision plays a very important role. So quick decisions will help me, the entrepreneur, to go out and grow quickly. Then comes open-mindedness. A person should have a free mind. He should be very frank enough, or he should have a very good approach towards the business. He should be open for all the kinds of opportunities that he might be going ahead and getting. He should be willing to go ahead and learn new things and new techniques, and he should learn from his mistakes. We should not go ahead and commit same mistakes again and again. But yes, mistakes might happen. If any mistake happens, we should learn from that mistake. It should be like a lesson to be learned from the mistake so that next time we do not go ahead and create same mistake. Next comes locus of control. Now, what do you mean by locus of control? Locus of control is the center point where I have to concentrate, where I have to go ahead and control certain things. There are two types that are divided. It is internal locus and it is external locus. Internal locus basically is what it is within the organization, within the personal decision. The behavior of a person within the organization the or within the particular limits of the entrepreneur. Whereas external locus of control is the behavior influenced by fate or by other external factors. There might be people who get influenced by someone else. Now, getting influenced by someone else is okay, but we should not always follow or copy someone. When we try to follow or copy someone, there are high chances that we might not go out and grow in that particular form or in that particular business because we need to go out and invent something of our own. We should be unique from others. Next, we are going to see is organizer. An entrepreneur requires highest level of organizing abilities. He or she should be in a position to organize things. They should know how to go out and get things done from their subordinates or from the other people, but in good terms. They should not be rude or they should not be forcing anyone to go out and do things. So organizing is a very important part. Next comes is personality. Now, successful entrepreneurs have pleasing personalities. That is, they are always happy. even though they have lot of different things, lot of innovative ideas, but still they are always happy. Now, there are things that we can go out and check out, but there are three main elements that comes under personality. First is physical qualities. The physical qualities, that is your physique, and should be very pleasing, and you should always be in good health. Second is your mental quality, that is your IQ and EQ should always be very good. You should know what is happening around, and you should be prompt in going ahead and answering questions whenever they are asked. Or you should analyze things very quickly. And third is social qualities, that is the ability to get along with others. Very important. If I want to go out and grow my business, I should know how I will go ahead and get along with others. Because if I do not go out and do that, I won't be able to grow my business. When I want to grow my business, I need to go out and speak with a lot of different people. I'll be meeting different people at different times. So I need to go ahead and develop this particular characteristics in me. That is how my personality depicts, and that is how I will go ahead and invite more people. When more people are invited, automatically my business starts growing. That is what is required. And it is always good to go ahead and always have a sweet tongue. That is, your mouth or your tongue should always be sweet, never be sour. If we go ahead and become sour, my business won't go ahead and grow. Next characteristic is risk taker. Any entrepreneur that you go ahead and take, it is a big risk taker. No one can go ahead and predict business, but yes, we can work hard for going ahead and earning profit for it. Every business that we go ahead and do is a risk taker. It is a big risk. Some people might go ahead and purchase a product, but they might not go ahead and give us the actual amount. Or some people might go ahead and try to go ahead and purposefully go ahead and get the things done, or they might spread negative part from us. But that is a risk that we have to go ahead and take. If we go ahead and do our work really faithfully and we do it religiously, no one can go ahead and take our share. Even though there is a risk, we will still sustain in the market. Next is technical knowledge. Now, whenever I do go out and do any sort of business, I should be technically sound. I should know what all things I can go out and do. I should know the legal matters. I should know the accounting and finance. Otherwise, people will go out and cheat us. So rather than doing that, it is always good to go out and have full knowledge of the business. Next is very important part is patience. Every entrepreneur should have lot of patience. We cannot become hyper, we cannot be short tempered, because if we go out and tend to do that, people will not come up to us. They will feel as what whenever we go, a person is screaming, a person is not appreciating. So you should have lot of patience. Let your customers at times go ahead and give you the feedback if they want to go ahead and give. Listen to them, and then you can go ahead and explain them in a polite manner. So patience is very important. Now, if we go ahead and work patiently, at that particular moment, our work that we are going to do will also go ahead and be very nice. We are able to go ahead and do justice to our work if we keep patience. Next is desire to achieve goals. Every entrepreneur desires to achieve the goals that has been set. The first and the foremost thing that every entrepreneur should do is to go ahead and write down their goals. They have to set their goals. Once the goals are set, we need to go ahead and achieve that goals. That is very important. Next comes is human relations. Human relations play a very important part. Earlier business used to go out and work only and only on the basis of human relations. People were very good at each other. But now with the increasing population and increasing new trends, people do not try to go out and speak with their clients properly. Always remember one thing, that customer is king of the market. So we have to go out and treat customers very nicely. If we go out and treat him or her very nicely, they will go out and spread a word of mouth publicity, and that is how my business will grow. Now, I have to maintain good relations with my customers, with my co-partners, with my business partners, and also with my staff. Very important thing is to maintain human relations or good relations with my staff that is going to work with me or that is working with me. Because if they go ahead and trust you, they will go ahead and work for you. But if we do not have good relations, they will not go ahead and help us in an extra unit. Next is communication skills. Wherever I go, my communication skills should be really good. If I want to go out and do business, I should have a good communication skills, because we will find different kinds of customers, we will find different kinds of business partners, we will find different type of people. So we should know how to communicate with such people, and we should always be polite when we are communicating. It is one of the important thing about the communication skills that we should do. Whether it might be an employee or whether it might be an outsider, you should always try to go ahead and speak softly with them. And last thing that we are going to see today is leadership. Every entrepreneur that goes ahead and works, they have to work like a leader. Leadership is very important because it influences people. Without leadership or without going ahead and leading certain things, we won't be able to grow to the height of that particular organization. So leadership plays a very important role. Leaders are considered to be one of the best players that go ahead and understand the people. They go ahead and help people at different levels. That is how the leadership plays an important part. I personally feel that every person in this world is a good leader. Only thing is they are not able to go ahead and come out with their leadership skills. Otherwise, every person can be a leader if given a chance. Next thing that we are going to see is the concept of entrepreneurship. What exactly is the concept, or why entrepreneurship? Now, Robert Hisrich said entrepreneurship is the process of creating something new and assuming the risk and rewards. As we have seen earlier in the definition, whenever we go out and do any sort of business, it is a risk. So any entrepreneurship that is developed, it is a big risk. And yes, when the risk is high, the rewards are also high. When we work hard for our organization, we will definitely get the results, and the results will be in form of rewards. People will start appreciating it. That is what is how my entrepreneur will go ahead and grow. So let us go ahead and check out the various concepts that we have. The very first concept that we are going to study is process. Now, when I want to go ahead and develop a business, I need to go ahead and develop it step by step. The first important thing that I need to do is I need to go ahead and learn about the new technology, or I should know the new technology that is going in the market. You must have heard that a lot of people are not comfortable in going ahead and paying their bills online. But in this current pandemic situation, what has happened? People are at home. So they have started going ahead and paying things online. So they have started understanding the process of going ahead and doing it. When we go ahead and when we understand the process, the next important thing that comes is for purposeful activity. When I go ahead and do any particular thing, or when I go ahead and try to go ahead and develop my business, it is a purposeful activity. I go ahead and do things purposely so that my business should grow. So purposely is what we should go ahead and try to reduce wastage. Purposely, we should try to reduce wastage. We should increase efficiency. We should utilize the resource with optimum utilization. And the foremost thing is we should dedicate and we should motivate our employees. We should motivate our colleagues so that they will go out and work. Individual or group activity. Entrepreneurship is not an individual activity to be done alone, but it is like a group activity. No doubt, entrepreneur is managed by one person, but till we have other people helping him, we cannot grow. So it is also a group activity. In my entrepreneurship is future oriented activity. I always think about the future and then I try to go out and sell the goods right now. So the future oriented activity is very much important that we have. It can be related to the internal environment or it can be related to the external environment. But we should always think about the future as how this is going to go out and benefit us. Next comes innovation and creativity. I have to invent something new. I have to create something new. Rather than going ahead and wasting time here and there, it is always better to go ahead and innovate that time or utilize that time with some innovative techniques or some creative techniques. Creativity plays a very important role. Next comes as proactiveness. Entrepreneur requires proactiveness, that is quick response is expected. An entrepreneur is the one who takes proactive decisions. They go out and take quick decisions. Because in an entrepreneur, you don't have to go out and call for any board meeting, or you don't have to call any society members, nothing. It is our own business, and it is how we go out and take decision. That is very important in entrepreneur development. Next comes is exploits change into an opportunity. So it goes ahead and it helps to change our particular current scenario into an opportunity. If I go out and develop my business very well, if I go out and grab the correct opportunity on the correct time, it will help me to go out and grow in future. So I have to go out and grab correct opportunity. When I want to go out and start with an entrepreneurial business, or when I have to go out and start with my own business, I should never say no to anything. I should try to go out and grab the opportunity by saying yes. It always will go out and help us to grow the business. Next is risk and rewards. Every entrepreneur has to go out and get the risk. When risk is high, rewards are also high. Your rewards does not mean that the trophies that you get. Rewards means the returns that you get. So when there is a high risk, the returns are also high, the rewards are also high. But yes, every person has to go out and do that. But I would like to go out and also add here is we should not go out and do wrong kinds of activities, like we should not get involved in gambling, or we should not get involved in different types of activities that are dangerous for life, or it might harm to other person. So we should take risk, but it should be what it should be a manageable or bearable risk whenever we go out and take a risk. Next is organizing abilities. I should know how to go out and organize my things, how I can go out and help my own self by going ahead and rectifying things or organizing things that might be around me. So organizing also plays an important role. And the next is social and economic development. My development should be social and it should be economic. It should be beneficial for certain groups, or it should be beneficial for the whole country, or might be not at least whole country, at least it should be useful or beneficial to the people staying in our nearby vicinity. So social and economic development is also important. When my entrepreneur develops, it grows, automatically economic development takes place that we had discussed earlier. So we will go ahead and stop the lecture right now, and we are going to go ahead and continue this in the next lecture. Thank you so much for going ahead and listening to my lecture.